Thanks for joining us as we talk through responding to diverse student values when teaching sexuality education. My name is Lauren Barano, and I'll be talking through the slide deck prepared by Nora Gelprin, the Director of Sexuality Education and Training at Advocates for Youth. What are values? Values are an individual's belief that often form the framework for their decisions in life. And during adolescence, young people are in the process of really identifying what their family's values are and starting to clarify their own values. For example, are they very similar to or different from their family's values? And then they start to practice making decisions aligned with their own values. These are all important and totally normal phases of this period of adolescence. Some examples of values are below. You can recognize that we have values about many of the things included here, and you can see how easily some of these topics may show up in the sexuality education classroom. Having students discuss their values is incredibly important in the classroom. This is because it gives young people the opportunity to talk about their own values and hear the values of other young people so they can clarify their values and then start to make decisions based on the values that are most important to them. So it's helpful for you to provide a classroom environment in where talking about values is welcome and done in an effective way. Why are discussions and questions about values so different? It's because there's a wide range of values on virtually every topic. And so there's no objective or easy answers to questions or scenarios that involve a person's values. This is what makes them more challenging to handle for a teacher, particularly when related to sex education. And we'll talk through some strategies for how to address them. There are some values that as a society we all agree on. Some examples of these are forcing someone to have sex is wrong, knowingly spreading disease is wrong, sex between children and adults is wrong, and taking care of your reproductive health is important. It may be helpful to amplify or acknowledge these as important parts of your curriculum or your teaching, because generally they're things that we all agree on that are critical in sex education. These are really different from non universal values. These values have no large consensus among the general population, and I'm sure you'll recognize a lot of these as soon as you hear them. Whether or not it's best to be married before having children, another example is whether it's acceptable to have an abortion, or whether it's acceptable to have sex with someone you don't love. So, in the classroom, you really wouldn't want to respond to universal values in a way that allows you to express your own beliefs or on a non universal value at school. So, you'd want to avoid sharing your own opinion. This is because families really have the role of teaching values on non universal issues. They're informed by a family's life experience, their culture, their faith or religion. And so we want to leave it to parents, caregivers, and other trusted adults to really teach values on many of these topics. And so, as schools and teachers, we have to address these topics in a way that respects the diversity of family beliefs. So, what are some ways we can do this? This values question protocol is from Seattle King County's Department of Public Health, their Flash curriculum. And they do it in 3 easy steps. When a question about values comes up, you can respond by saying, well, some people believe, and insert one end of the continuum of beliefs. Then say, other people believe, and insert the other end of the continuum of beliefs. Finally, wrap it up by saying what's the most important thing is that you decide what you believe about any topic, and it can really help to talk with a trusted adult about it. Let's walk through a few quick examples. So, if someone is pregnant and doesn't want to be, is it okay if they have an abortion? You could say, some people believe that it's never okay to have an abortion under any circumstances. Other people believe that the decision about having an abortion can only be made by the pregnant person, and they're the only one that can decide what's best for their life and situation. You need to decide what you think about abortion based on your beliefs and values, and it can often help to talk with a parent or trusted adult about it. Let's try another quick example. Is it okay for teens to have sex? You can start by saying, well, some people believe that teens should wait to have sex until they're adults or possibly in a committed relationship like marriage, while other people believe that teens, under certain circumstances, when they've done everything they need to act responsibly, they've discussed their health, they've made their decision with a partner, and they're taking steps to prevent pregnancy and disease, should be able to make informed decisions about their personal sex life. You've got to decide what you think about when it's okay for teens to have sex based on your beliefs and values, and it can really help to talk with a parent or trusted adult about it. So, student values come up in lots of other ways during class as well. Students may express their values during class discussions and activities, and this is really helpful because it allows students to not only practice sharing their own beliefs with others, but it helps them clarify their own beliefs as they're listening to and hearing the beliefs from their peers, especially when they're different. You can respond to students' values during class in many different ways. Acknowledge when you hear a value to distinguish it from a fact. You can acknowledge that there's a wide range of values, beliefs, or opinions about the topic. And you can reinforce respect for other students' values, even when you might disagree, to make sure that you're creating an environment where it's safe for everyone to share and learn together. So, in summary, students exploring their own values and learning about values that are different from their own is really important developmentally. Everyone is entitled to their own values, and there's really easy techniques that educators can use to facilitate classroom discussions or respond to questions related to values. Thank you for walking through this PowerPoint with us. I hope it's been a helpful reminder.